All right, guys, welcome back to the Real South Africa. We have a very special episode. We have two couples here from America, one from Texas and one from North Carolina. And we did a perfect interview. We talked about a lot of topics, talked about a lot of things. So make sure that you stay with us throughout the process. Yes, it's a long video, so we will call it that we have extra footage. And of course, like and subscribe to our channel. This is a movement. People need to know, and of course, if the more comments you make, the more the video gets spread out to the masses. So please comment, and of course, we will see you on the inside. Enjoy South Africa. And of course, you can go to our website and purchase our book. It's $15 US. Obviously, it's a great book if you're looking at transition into South Africa. All the information you need is there, and then of course, you can work with us. And we also have a group trip set up for November 19th to the 28th, checking out real estate. So sign up right now. All right, everybody, this is Mark Blanton from the Real South Africa, and we got a very nice situation today. And obviously this is
Latasha Blanton, the Real South Africa. I'm going to call it the round table, even though it's not a round table, but there's a lot of us here. You get to see them all in just a moment.
It's a round and a square table and another square table put together, but you guys are going to enjoy it, I think. We're going to try to make this fun and light, but at the same time, we're going to try to cover a few topics of the people that's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the table and introduce themselves. So we got this couple here.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay. I think they have names. They won't mention them.
Yes, but
okay, yeah. He's been in South Africa so long and whatnot. And then of course we have our resident individual down there who says what? All right, and then we got this young man over here in the corner. He's our resident South African he's an architect, and his name is Lionel Funny Richie. No, I just
Haddington. Lionel Haddington.
Yeah, Lionel Richie. Got it.
I can't see.
And then we got this young couple here.
We're the Insleys, Antoine and Kimberly.
Yeah, and Mom's not here right now. She's taking a break.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, shout out to Moms. So now that we're all here and we're kind of doing our thing, we're just going to start talking a little bit about what's going on. Some people's time here in South Africa. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pan over here and we're going to talk about this couple's here's first time in South Africa. So this is their first experience in South Africa. So how did you like it? How'd you find it?
Well, first off, we didn't say our names. So I'm Denise, and this is my husband, Paul.
Yes.
You can start, babe.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You have her permission.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, we love it here. In just this short week, I fell in love with this country and feel quite close with this country. And I look forward to living here one day, raising my own family.
Okay. Now you was a Marine, right?
I am always going to be a Marine.
Okay. I just wanted to be that, to let you know, because there's always going to be a competition between the Army and the Marines, and we're going to keep that going.
Army aren't ready to be Marines yet.
Okay. I think we do more than before 6 o'clock than what most people do all day. But that's just another story. But I'm sorry to bring that up. So go ahead, Denise.
Yeah. Just as soon as we got off the plane, we were tired, we're jet lagged and everything, but the people were so welcoming. It felt like coming home. That's kind of the best way to describe it. Obviously, the food is chef's kiss amazing. I could never do it myself, but the food is amazing. The culture is just so rich. The people are just so rich. Like, that's just the best way. It just feels like coming home. It really just feels like coming home.
Yeah. So what did y'all do since you've been here? Like, what did you do? Like, what happened?
Like all the things that we
you saw some things, you did some things, you had some experiences.
We tasted a lot of food from the different restaurants.
Delicious.
Okay. We went to the safari a couple days ago.
Okay.
That was fun. I'm a big lion fanatic, and I got to see a lion.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like the highlight of the whole year.
So it wasn't the one in the Wiz. It was a mean old line. Okay, you remember? Okay.
We went to Soweto.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
got to kind of learn a little bit more about that township and more about Nelson Mandela and about his life and just how much of a pioneer he was, and just kind of seeing the lasting effects on the country from him. It was
Love for him too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was eye-opening. It really was eye-opening. I mean, from the States, you're kind of a little far removed from things like that. And so when you're kind of immersed in the culture and you get to see kind of the effects of someone so influential as him, it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, to hear about the struggles, of course, because that's there too, that's a part of the history, is very rich as well. But I to be honest, it's just very overwhelming because there's just so much here.
Yes.
And honestly, it just makes me want to go back home and just read all about South Africa.
Wow.
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because us being in America, we don't know South African history at all, and we know American history, Black history, so we just assume that we're learning Black history, like they should be learning our history, and we don't need to learn theirs at all. But they have a robust story. I think it's just as robust as ours that defines who they are. And I think at the end of the day, when you meet the people, because you guys have met at least one or two South Africans, right?
We've met several.
Okay, and what was your take on them? Because that stories, the stories of how they became, are the people that you met.
Right.
So I guess my point is, so how was it chatting with them?
It's almost like you're chatting with people who you just know, right? Because we were able to just connect with them so easily, and they're so friendly. They're happy to have us here. It's just, I'm almost speechless in words. Yeah, I'm going to end it right there because it just, I was so impressed, happy, excited, because it's not something that the experiences that we have had, it's not something that you really get to experience a lot in the United States.
Yeah.
In the week that we've been here, even just culturally, I have felt closer to this country and South Africans than back home.
I mean, that's telling. That's telling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from the Northeast in the States, okay? So we don't talk to people. We're not friendly.
Yeah.
So
I could tell.
The fact that we can come here and I feel like, oh, that's not weird that someone's being friendly and they're being genuine about it says a lot, because that's just not something that I personally am not used to. And even, moving to Texas and obviously meeting him, like, very kind person, of course, I wouldn't have married him. It's like, but even that was weird, but coming here, it was completely different. It was just authenticity from the jump.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm drawn to, whether you're mean or you're nice. It doesn't matter, but authenticity, I think, is a really great way to kind of describe the type of people that we've interacted with so far here.
To piggyback off her real quick, in the States, you wake up every day and you have to kind of game plan yourself.
Game plan
You have to
yourself.
kind of game plan yourself.
I want y'all to see
Because-
Antoine. His face he's totally agreeing.
Just instantly, there's an instant stress on the minute I leave my house. I've got to deal with A through Z, plus 1 through infinity. Whereas here, I haven't had that. I have not had that stress, that anxiety of, well, as soon as I walk out my house, I'm just going to have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, all that hair on your arm.
But it's peaceful.
Yeah.
And peace is a big thing in my life. And it's really peaceful. I love it.
Okay. Well, we're going to obviously continue the conversation about your time here, but sadly, this is when I say the last day, this is the day that you're going back to the U.S.
Right.
And I'm gonna let Asha tell you what it's gonna feel like when you actually leave this location, and then maybe your anxiety is about coming back. So, Asha, how are they gonna feel when they finally get on the plane?
Well, I know you're feeling it now, the emotions, you don't want to go back. And when you get back, as soon as you touch ground, you're going to have the biggest attitude. Biggest attitude. And as beautiful as Texas is, you're going to be like, I don't want to be here. Because what's going to be on your mind constantly is your experience here and how you can't wait to get back here.
Yeah.
And at every moment from this point on you're going to be planning and trying to figure out how you can get back here permanently. And you'll never forget it. But you're going to have an attitude.
Yeah.
You're going to have an attitude.
Yeah. So I would say adjust yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've traveled. Me and Tasha traveled back and forth many times, and it happened. So when Asha was leaving, this girl, she was on a high because she was here so long, and she had almost felt like Rosebank was home. She'd be like, I said, Asha, we'd call her, Asha, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I'm getting ready to go home.
I'm like, what?
Like, to her, the accommodations that we set her up with. But she ultimately ended up having to leave, and we told her. And then when you got back, you know.
Yeah, I actually, because I was here for the 90-day on the tourist visa. And so other people were coming and going in a short, and so I'd watch them and the emotions that I would see on them, and I would just think, that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And when I say I'm going home, that meant I was going to my place in Rosebank, because in my mind, this is home. This is where I'm going to be forever and ever and ever. And even though I knew I had to go back to the States, but still, this is home. So when I say home, this is definitely home. But it hit me probably a week before it was time for me to actually go back. That's when I started feeling all the emotions. I didn't think it was going to happen to me. I really didn't, because I thought I was here, had been here long enough, and to process the emotions and the feelings, and I knew that I was coming back, so I didn't think that it was going to happen to me as far as experiencing those emotions, but it happened.
Yeah. Do you remember some of our conversations before you get ready to go? I would call and check on her and say, are you ready to go? And she'd be like, no, I'm not ready to go, but I think I'm going to be okay because I know I'm coming back. Like, she just literally kept saying, but I know I'm coming back. And she's like, I'm over here in the fetal position. Like, I really don't want to go back. And then as soon as she got back, you're right, she had an attitude. When I would get messages from her, she would be like, I cannot wait to get back there. Like, she was like angry for like a little bit. Yeah. And even up to the point to where she knew she was coming back, like, she had a little like a little legit attitude. She's been smiling since she's been back, when she came back this past November. And she's been like literally like, I spent the day with her yesterday, and we were sitting down and we were going, but we were together, and she says, like, every day my life is like I live a life of leisure. And I started dying laughing. I was like, Asha, you can't just say that. She was like, but I kind of do. Like, I live a life of leisure. And the truth of the matter is, I told her I was going to get her a shirt made that says, because I'm retired, I can do whatever the hell I want. Because she, honest to God, I can call her any day. I'd be like, where you at? She's like, oh, I rolled out, I'm going here. I'm like, she was living a good life right now. Like, but to me, when you hear her story, like, she legitimately deserves that. And I think that most of us that have been in positions in the U.S., we all know, like, we're not over there playing. Like, we're literally trying to make a life for ourselves and our families. And if you can't truly live it the way that you want to live it, then you have to find a place that's going to allow that. And we're lucky that we found South Africa, that allows you to take your gifts and your talents and make a life that you actually get to pick on your own. Because the truth is, you know what kind of lifestyle you want to live, but can you afford that lifestyle where you come from? Is it going to make you have to get a second job? Is it going to make you have to, give up a kidney, a couple legs, a couple legs? What are you going to have to sell off just to have that? And here, there's not very many sacrifices other than maybe, leaving the people that you love behind. But what you get in return is an additional family. Like, it's beautiful. So
Absolutely.
it's kind of where we are.
Yeah. So now, we just want to, we just give you the shot or the warning about, or the whatever they call it, in the Navy. right?
I was in the men's department, thank you, United States Marine Corps.
I had to go there. I'm taking every shot that I can because it's so fun. You know, if you was here all day long, we would just be going at it. Yeah. But anyway,
You would be someplace.
yeah, it'd be.
Let's go get a drink.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But you know, we just like it because it's good that you guys came on a trip. You guys came, you know, you trusted what we was talking about. It's not like we created South Africa. It's just here.
Yeah.
We're just transmitting it and just saying, hey, you guys can come, and we want you guys to come here, obviously, and have a soft landing spot to where you can actually explore versus standing behind a map talking about which direction we're going.
Yes.
I don't know where to go. You can just come in and be like, okay, it's all put in front of me, and it's working for us. So I'm assuming that you had a great first impression of South Africa.
Oh yes,
Amazing first impression of South
absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think it exceeded our expectations.
Oh, yeah,
to
absolutely.
be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
All right. There's more. It's out
we
there.
will be back for more.
There's more.
All right.
We're ready.
All right.
Definitely more food.
We got Now we got this couple here. They introduced themselves before, but I think they want to do it again. I just feel it, and we got her on camera. Reluctantly, but she's going to relax at some point. So would you guys be kind enough to introduce yourselves one more time?
Sure, my name is Antoine Inslee. This is my wife, Kimberly Inslee. We're
Yeah.
from Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's right.
And happy to be here with the Real South Africa team and
Okay.
meeting all of these lovely people.
Okay.
And we're fortunate enough to have our neighbor,
Right there.
Lionel Harrington, here is with us today. And it's just a
Mr.
lovely-
Richie
it's
is
a lovely
over
Saturday.
there.
Mr. Richie.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I got to ask you a deep pressing question because people are going to want to know because you said you was from Charlotte, North Carolina, right? Mecklenburg County, somewhere there and about. They really want to know, and I meant to ask you when we first met you guys about this. So don't be feeling like I'm picking on you or whatever because I haven't asked anybody this question before.
Yeah, okay.
Are you a Tar Heel fan or are you a Duke fan?
I'm a 49er fan.
No, I'm talking about college basketball.
I know I don't like either of those teams.
And
I'm a UNC Charlotte.
that was it
49er
for
fan.
that. So we're moving. We're moving on. We are literally moving on. I must erase the tape. But no, he's an actual Tar Heel fan. He doesn't know it. He should be. If he's a proper North Carolinian, I'm a proper North Carolinian. We're about the same age group. You know, he's a proper North Carolinian. So I'm going to bestow you for the simple fact that there are those that were leaning Tar Heel,
Right.
saying he better say Tar Heel. I swear. So that's what he said. I ended up editing that out. But anyway. So now you guys came here for some. Okay, tell me why you came here. Not this morning. Sure. I know we have food.
Sure. So about 2 years ago, we started exploring South Africa, looking at in the whole of the country, from Cape Town up to Johannesburg, looking at property. We knew that we knew that Africa as a continent, but specifically South Africa was a place that was in our future.
But
So we
how did
started
South
looking.
Africa get on your radar? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
You know
Because, like,
what?
a lot of people, like, South Africa was on her radar, but at the same time, it was weird how it was on her. So I'm just wondering how it was on yours.
Sure. So for me, I looked at the fact that it was a very young democracy. I'm into young democracies. I'm into, not necessarily the politics, but where a country sits today and where it may be 20, 30 years from now. I looked at things like unemployment. I looked at things that were resonating with me in terms of what I enjoy in terms of my path in life. And those things were challenges that I saw happening here in South Africa. Not that I wanted to be in politics, but I did want to listen to my spirit and say, okay, well, what difference can you make in that country if God lead you there? And it was speaking to me. I looked at unemployment, which is extremely high here. I'm in the workforce development and human resources. I love creating jobs. So, what might be an opportunity for me to help be a part of those type of solutions here in South Africa? So I married those things with our desires and living here and say, okay, well, let's look at homes. So we came here last April. And on the first trip, we purchased a home. And this is our third trip. We love this place. I mean, we love the people. We
Look at her
love
face.
everything about South Africa.
You didn't know that, did you? Yeah.
The thing is, South Africa was never on the radar,
Yeah.
for me, like at all. I think it's really just because of him, because he always knew that he was going to end up over here, and so I mean, I'm with him for life. So.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I like that stance.
Okay, let me see. Where yours at? Go ahead and get yours. What my kids say? You got a house already. What my kids say?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's crazy, ain't it? So that's why I wanted you guys
They're too new.
That's what I wanted you guys to meet. Honestly, that's why I was like, oh, this is I didn't set this up. I didn't like tell you what time to come, and I didn't tell you what you guys just got here. So I just decided to say, it makes sense for you guys to meet. And I'm putting the thing on her so I can see me. Anyway, but no, I wanted to you guys to meet. Maybe you guys are here. They say a lot. They say synergy a lot, right? Yeah. They say synergy a lot. So maybe you guys, obviously, you guys already passed numbers. You was Army, right?
Army.
Yeah, and then this one was so.
And then this one.
There may be some disconnects there, but we're going to work that out because usually Marines have old equipment and whatnot. Yeah, they have old equipment.
Yet we still do the greatest things with it.
Yeah. You take your can and your string and you make it work.
And our crowns.
Yeah, and all that, and your crayons and
Everybody says Marines just eat crowns.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you need something done,
Call the Marines.
Okay, so I'm going to mess with him a lot longer because this is just easy. It's like a low hanging fruit that's already on the ground, right? So anyway, but yeah, I wanted you guys to meet so you guys can have maybe a short conversation, and then maybe because this is a grassroots movement. It's not just us. I'm glad Asha's willing to come in and lend her support, so people can see this type of stuff and see that these opportunities are available, and it's not just us. Because there are those that think it's just us, like, oh, you guys were special. I'm like, no, it didn't start that way. And we had a long-term goal, and then it started with a short-term goal, and then a mid, and then now we're here. And then it was good for Asha to kind of latch on, not just her but others that are in the process that are here now and living this life of leisure.
I know, right?
Or as we say here in South Africa, leisure. Yeah, we say leisure. I got to throw a little accent in there. Make it. It is. Yeah. Sasha got all the accents.
I don't have all the accents.
She has all the accents. So tell them about the leisure. How you say it?
No, I'm not.
I got her.
But they don't say leisure like we do.
They say leisure.
Say leisure.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Say pleasure.
Yeah.
Like what does that even mean? So I have a question just about like what you four have talked about, because you're literally at the introductory, like, this is what I'm starting to think. They obviously started a couple years prior, but they're also only 3 visits in. So technically they're only 2 visits more than you, which really isn't that much. Right. Yeah. So like, what advice do you have for them? What questions do you have for them about their process? Because obviously, I mean, you've been hearing our answers for a long time, but we're far removed because our process started, almost 10 years ago. So, and we've been here, a little over 3, almost 4. So being this close to it, it's like, to me, for you, it's like, I would think that it's very attainable now. Like, it's like, oh, we can do this sooner. Yeah. So what advice or what questions do you guys have for like each other?
Sure. So what I would say is that, so we all know that living in America is complex, to your point. And we're trained or conditioned to think that everything is so unobtainable and that it's years away. We talk about things like retirement, like, okay, one day I got to work towards a retirement date in the future. I'm 52 years old. I don't use the words like retirement because I don't ever see myself retiring. I'm always going to be doing something. My grandfather is 90.
I'm gonna retire. She's like, I'm sorry. Wait a second. He gonna be by himself. You like your mama.
Yeah. So my granddad is 92 years old. My mother is 73, and they're very active people. Yeah. It's in our genes. We're always doing something. So I didn't think about this migration in terms of it's a blessing to retire from an occupation, but for me, it was about, not looking much towards, let's do this 5-10 years from now, but getting out of my way of thinking, how I was conditioned to think in America about, hey, listen, do this in the future. I'm about energy and action. So when I made my mind up, I put those action steps in place and started moving towards that. I knew I needed to buy a home, so I went to go and look for homes. I learned the processes in terms of how to get home financing here in South Africa. I understood that we needed income, so I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I do consulting work, so I knew that, and I do security work as well. So I knew that I could make income on another continent and still live my best life. Being part of an institution and people here in South Africa without being told that no, you have to stay in America and do it the way we told you to do it. So really just getting out of that way of thinking and get out of your own way of thinking about processes and just make that decision if it's in your heart and if it's your desire. Pull the trigger.
Yeah. And I want to say this, and that's how the Army does it. I just want to say that. I want to say that's how the Army does it. That's how the Army does it. Now, let's talk about this Marine Corps situation over here.
Ironically enough, I was going to be like, oh, it must be an Army thing. Because you use so many terms I hear him say all the time. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I hear those words all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a question.
He said it. Because I was like, I was going to say it must be an Army thing because everything you were saying are words that he has said before. He's like, what is what? It must.
Get
so I'm sorry. Let me know how the Marines do it, please. I don't really help me.
Well, in all honesty, exactly what Antoine has just said is what we are in the process of doing right now. Wonderful. I started, and I'm going to call it my journey. I started this journey essentially. This is what 2022. So I guess 2018. Nice. I started researching all of Africa essentially. And after I did my ancestry DNA, I really started hampering on Western Africa, Southern Africa, kind of following my roots and stuff. And South Africa just, it just stood out to me. So I started doing a lot of my research there, and actually I reached out to the Blantons maybe about a year and a half ago. Started reaching out to business people here because I started formulating that plan. So even when my wife and I got together, I told her, I said, hey, this is where my mind is at. This is where
full disclosure.
Yes. So if you want this relationship, understand I'm probably going to be going over to South Africa. So
That's really long distance.
So and I'll tell you, I am a very determined individual. When I say that I'm going to do something, my word is my bond, and I'm going to do it. We were supposed to be here in August. And our flights got canceled. COVID has been bad.
Yeah.
My state is one of the worst states for COVID, and I'll call them out all day long. So we got here now, and we went and looked at houses the other day because our mindset is we know that we're going to move here. And as a matter of fact, before we got here, my wife and I were talking about this, and this essentially was our confirmation trip. And the minute we land, I looked at her and I said, so what do you think? She said, I love it. I want to move here.
Yeah. And I'm the kind of so I'm a control freak. I'm a planner. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So, moving to another country, even if it was Canada, just moving to another country, obviously there's going to be some reservations. So I guess my question for you guys is kind of from the first trip to now, were there any kind of reservations about, kind of you seem super determined. Like when you're talking, I'm like,
so like me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to be like you here. That's like literally.
I got the same person times 3 right here. Like I'm a little bit. I'm like, we should just all get them walk away. That'll be fine.
No reservations.
Yeah.
It goes back to what was said earlier. We're leaving on Saturday. We've been for a month. I'm already starting to feel that anxiety because every time I'm back in the States, I'm like, I'm ready to go back home.
Ooh.
This is home.
Yeah.
We actually have a pool. We're taxpayers here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to get back there. So this whole transition process is the process, but absolutely no reservation. It's I'm happier when I come here. I'm smiling.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm like, it feels great.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I haven't lived anywhere else. So to leave Charlotte to move all the way to Africa, that's a big jump.
It's like most people do like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. Like they do like the East Coast line. You like, nah, I'm gonna do a whole nother continent. I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. Like what is that?
But the funny part about it is Charlotte is I think it's still there. Right? It's there. It'll be there for you anytime. It doesn't go away because you come here. Right. People are still, stuck on I-74 right now, in traffic.
I could move and not go back. I mean, stay here and not go back.
So you ain't missing anything. Do you feel like you're missing anything?
No GMOs. I don't miss that.
Warning shot.
She's like, y'all not eating real food.
That was something we got to experience.
I don't miss none of it. Now, I did miss it when we went to the safari a little bit. I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Because you was hungry? No, I'm just kidding.
No, because I thought I was going to get ate up.
I'm going to be somebody's food. I got it.
We went looking for the lions. We was in the open.
I mean, so you got out the car and you
No,
went
it was just open, and it was like it felt like we went in someone's hood, and they jumped out on us, and I'm like,
It was nice.
It was no. Because the tour guy said, because I said, okay, are we safe? He said, yeah, we safe. He said, just don't panic or nothing like that. And
don't break the outline of the vehicle.
Yeah, so I'm looking for the lines.
She's like, I'm
looking for everything, and all 8 of them jumped out. I just thought,
No, are you serious?
I just started screaming.
No.
And they're like, Kim, be quiet.
Yes,
be quiet, be
seriously.
quiet.
Just sit there.
And I was like, okay, we got the guy. And he was, yeah, y'all be quiet. I was like, we about to die.
It's crazy that you mentioned that because on our safari ride, oh my gosh. So we didn't get too close to any of the animals except for the one elephant and her baby. She crossed the road.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of that.
And right before that, our kind of tour guide or whatever told us about an incident where an elephant grabbed the guy's arm and was pulling him out, and it's like, oh, a tip for you, just pinch the inside of the trunk. I don't want to pinch. I need the trunk to stay over there. And then to see this thing go across the road, like I didn't.
Literally right in front of us.
It was insane, but it was one of the most beautiful things to be able to experience.
That's it.
I can say I've seen an elephant. I was literally only 20 feet away from an elephant.
It wasn't beautiful for me.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it wasn't beautiful. And we had to sit there until they left.
Yeah.
His wife, she's from South Africa. She froze. She was like, oh.
That don't mean nothing. It's a wild animal. You could be from South Africa, you still get ate up.
Right?
I feel that shows the difference between animal respect here and because we know how animals are treated in the States, and we have zoos and stuff, and we have places where people will rescue those animals and all that, and that's great. But here it's like we're in their hood. We have to respect them. And I'm not trying to pet nobody, because I'm not trying to disturb them, I'm not trying to disrespect them or their environment. And I think when I saw that elephant, it wasn't necessarily fear, and even when we saw the lion, even though the lion was much farther away, it's more of like a reverence for them and a respect for them, and not so much like this is something that's this is just something that's for decoration or something, and I just think it's kind of cool. No, you're in their habitat. You need to respect them.
It humbles you.
It really does.
It definitely humbles you.
It humbles you, and it makes you realize how small.
I was going to say.
How small you are.
Literally and figuratively. That thing was big.
That female was large.
And they never stopped growing.
He said that. I was like,
He just said they
what?
don't stop growing until they die, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I think This was
You got 3,000-pound elephant still growing.
When the lion came out, he said, "Oh, it's so beautiful." And then the lion started licking his leg. He's like, "Oh, please don't lick your lips."
He's like, look, you're saying the lion is beautiful. The lion's going, you're beautiful too.
You look chocolatey.
I never had that before.
So in short, we all had a pretty good experience with on the safaris.
Yes.
You agree? Okay.
She had a good time.
It's a one life.
Yeah, you need to do it. You need to do it.
You
Yeah,
need to do it.
yeah. Because we do have people that are like, I don't want to go on safari. They're literally like, can we scratch that out? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. And matter of fact, Asha is the one that literally was like, can you scratch that out?
Yeah, I felt that it wasn't necessary because that's
American.
not stuff that we do.
Yeah.
So I just didn't feel that it was necessary. But I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, you're going on safari. And I mean, I would do it again and again and again because it was one of the most beautiful experience. I'm not a zoo person, and so to be out there in nature and their environment and their the habitat, and just to be there again. I didn't see lions, but I did see the cheetah, the elephants, and some other just the McDonald's.
The Springbok.
We enjoyed it. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It was just a beautiful experience. I would do it again. I would encourage everyone to do it. And anyone who comes to visit me, we're going on safari. I'm not driving out there, but we're going to go.
And that Springbok is tasty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we enjoyed the safari so much that I told the guide, I said, when I move here, I would happily come up here and volunteer myself to be here. Yeah. I like the outdoors. I like nature, and I love animals. Is going to what Denise said. I have a lot of respect for animals. Sure. So just to be able to be out there and see all these just majestic animals.
Yeah, especially in like the locations.
Yes.
You got the mountains.
Nothing but mountains, just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's funny because like Asha said, we don't do that. Because we never really get exposed to it. We never get exposed to it. Even if you go out to Wyoming, to the Grand Tetons and all that, all that, but it's not this. But then once you get exposed to it, even Kim over here, she gets exposed to it, and now she's like, wow, this is something that was brought out of me.
Yeah.
It was in there, inside of you the whole time. So there's a lot of stuff that's packed inside of us that we never actually get to unpack, almost our whole lives. Yeah. We never get to unpack it. But when we do, this is what happens. It's like, this is where you are, and that's what you were the entire time.
Culturally, we aren't exposed to it in the United States.
Yeah,
and that's when you get the comments where people will say, "Oh, that's not real. That's not real life. You're just, you're on vacation." But no, this is real life.
Well, I have something to say. They're not walking in the streets. They're in a safari. I had my mom call me, tell me, "Oh, was they in your neighborhood?" No, I was in their neighborhood.
Let me facilitate this. I'm gonna facilitate Lionel. That's how we say it in the African American community. So speak as loud as you can. What do you think when you're hearing all of this?
As a South African.
As a South African.
It is new. And it's surprising. But what I did notice earlier is there's just so much optimism, which I really love. Young couple over here. I really love that you have the optimism on this journey that you're about to embark on. And I really think and wish you all the best. I really do. And I really hope that it works out for you, because there is just so much opportunity in this country. There really is. And if you make a good life here, it's a beautiful country. I love it. I wouldn't leave it. From being here. I don't know how you guys leave your country. But there is one thing. The amount of optimism you have is completely different to South Africans who leave this country, because they leave here without knowing where they're going to, and not having nearly the amount of optimism you have coming in. And I love that. I think it's really great.
Excellent.
And it's really been great to have met you all.
Yeah.
You as well.
Yeah.
Look, we got to figure out how you can do some work for us. You got some skills.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, a lot of you guys don't know, but you know, he's a. Not only does he sing, and was part of the Commodore. Part of the Commodore just for a little while. He's actually an architect as well, so he knows how to get around the codes to build that house without nobody knowing. No, I'm just playing. I was playing a little bit, you know. But yeah, so it's interesting because he had no idea that what he was walking into today. But we roped him in, and of course, you know, he's the neighbor of these people right here.
And he's working on our home, and he's doing an amazing job.
And we've had neighbors for years. We've had lots of neighbors. I've never had a neighbor like him and his wife Eunice.
Yeah, they're awesome.
But that speaks to the people of South Africa, their hearts, their convictions, their love, and how they receive people. I mean, I've never experienced it in America. And I've had tons of American neighbors.
Yeah.
And that's not a slam on Americans, just that it speaks to the culture here more than anything else.
Yeah.
So know that. So I was gonna say, like, you should really feel good about the environment and the culture that South Africa encompasses, because where we come from, we literally can have a neighbor and never know their name, never talk to them. They can literally be over there going through changes and we would never know, and they would never know if, like, we wouldn't be like, oh, let me borrow some sugar. Like, it would never happen.
Yeah.
You would just be done. So the fact that we can come here and fellowship with our neighbors and literally have like an actual bond with people that you literally just meet is something, it means a lot to us. So know that know that they don't take you for granted. They loved you enough to bring you here so that we could meet you, and they think highly of you. So most of the people that we meet here, we really think a lot about them. Like, we don't take any of our relationships for granted. Maybe back that's how we take some for granted, but that's because there's a value attached to the people that we meet here. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cool. Now, eventually, you guys will obviously depart and whatnot, but you're still here. I think you guys are going to go. We're going to, get you guys over to the Mall of Africa.
Yes.
That should be a real good experience. The malls here. There's a lot of malls here in South Africa, more than what they should actually have per capita. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're extremely nice, and when you do walk into the Mall of Africa, you might not know this, but I'm going to tell you, you will know. Like they built, like, just look at the ceilings, the architecture of it, and the way it was supposed to be, and it is, because I actually look. Nobody looks. It's just me. They actually do what they call it. They have like different areas. Like one's like the wooded area. So if you look at the architecture, it's like wooded, and then they have like the water area. And just look at the architect. Well, he's an architect.
Yeah. He's like that.
Yeah. But just look as it transitions. As you're walking through the building, and it actually gives you a different feeling as you actually walk through the building, especially if you notice it. So as you go there, obviously you're going to be, say, wow, they got stores that you recognize, and then there's going to be stores that you never, brands that you never heard. So you're going to see that. And I'm just giving you a preview, but you'll see it for yourself. That they have most of the American brands, and then they have a whole lot of South African brands. So it's the best of both worlds. Yeah. And when you go outside on the piazza, you'll see the kids in their swimming costumes. They call them costumes.
It's Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday. Oh, they're out there. They're out there. Yeah. It's just a water fountain.
What do you call it?
Bathing suit. Yeah. It's a bathing suit, swimming suit. Yeah. These guys, but but it's going to be interesting when you get there. So enjoy it. Just take it all in. Just take it in. And then all the people, it's going to be wow. It's crazy.
It's going to be really nice.
Cool. So Go ahead. No, go for
I
it.
wanted to say something about Lionel and his company. Like, they are all around. Like, they done helped us. Of course, he's doing the whole house, but as far as the interior decorating, taking us to go look at furniture and our different style. So it's not like someone's taking over and say, this is what you should have in your house. They say, okay, what's your style? And we want to put that in your home. So I think his company and his crew has been very awesome.
When I first, when they walked up this morning and they introduced Lionel, I'm like, oh. I leaned in. I'm like, we need to talk.
She's like, so when I start my home journey, could we have a conversation?
Here we go. So
we were just talking about that yesterday, so it's perfect. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and that's a good lead in because, like I said, when we get here to South Africa, we do. I mean, we can't do it all ourselves. You know, some of us we try. I can go online and I can look it up. Okay, fine, do that. Then you get lost, and then you get lost, and then you find people who are in the know. And a lot of times it's going to be a South African that's going to assist you. And they generally don't have a problem with doing that, especially if they see a little lost puppy on the side of the road.
And they work with your budget.
So overall, your home journey has been pretty okay.
Has it been fun?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, I think if I go back to when we first started looking at homes, which was virtual, it was a virtual process. Actually coming here and looking at properties and vast properties. I mean, there's property here for everyone, every budget, every style, every design. There's no homes that look alike. So there's variety, you know. But the process, it's been great. It's been absolutely great.
Here's a question someone asked us just yesterday. They said, you know, like with all of the options, lifestyle estates, equestrian estates, wildlife estates, whatever the case may be, it's like, how did you decide like this was the house? And the truth of the matter is, you just got to stop looking at some point. You really just got to walk, because if you keep thinking the next one's going to be better, but you find one that like really speaks to you, you might as well just stop, because there's way too many choices. Like, when they say you're spoiled for choice here, as far as like where you want to live, you really are spoiled for choice. So if you want to take 10 years looking for a house, you can, because there'll be a new one every 20 feet, basically. So you really just have to make a decision. And I think that you guys are like, okay, we just need to make a decision. I mean, we found our house fairly quickly. I mean, we came here on a mission to find our home after coming several times. And we came on a weekend. We both knew the process. So he's on one computer, I'm on the other computer, calling realtors, setting up appointments, because you can't just, you got to do it properly. You can't just be like, you have to set up appointments. I'm just going to say you have to set up appointments.
Hold on, wait a minute. What was that? I'll show it, man. Give me a second.
I said you can't just show up.
Thank you.
What does that mean? Because we have people, and I'm being honest with you, I'm being full disclosure, but nobody here can hear me now, just me and you. No, we do have people that they want to come here and they want to look at homes, and they think they could just get here and just start going to see houses.
It's not the same process as the U.S. We're accustomed to just contacting a realtor, or even just driving by a neighborhood. You can't get in these neighborhoods if you're not invited. And so it's a different process. You have to work with a professional realtor and make appointments. And you're not coming in if you don't have business in that particular community. So you can't just show up. You have to reach out to a professional and make arrangements and, you know, make things happen.
And schedule it. So I have no idea what I was saying, but just that whole process, like making sure you do it proper. Like when we did that and we made the appointments, I mean, we were so all over the place that some of us, we had contacted the same realtor twice. She was like, I think. But by the second day, the third day, because it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So by the third day, we went to an open house and we saw the house, and I was like, all right, this is it. And then the next day was like, we went to see other houses, but we kept going back to like that first house. And I was like, let's not go keep driving all around. Like, let's just, like, it's pretty obvious, like, this is it. And that's kind of how we ended up. Like, you just have to walk in and feel it. So I would say, if you're going to come here and go through the process of looking for a house, like, prepare yourself. Just pick a couple neighborhoods you think you might want to live in. You can't see them all. And then at that point, whatever speaks to you, just make the offer and move on. Otherwise, you'll spend 10 years looking for a house,
Or
you'll say, I think I want to build. And you can do that too, but then you got to find the right place to buy the stand. And then do you want to live in this area? So like it all comes down to just make a decision. And I guess that's what the Army and the and the Marines have in common. They make a decision and they... I said the Army and the Marines. I said the Army and the... I'm going to say military.
The Department of the Navy.
Let me just say...
You mean the Department of the Navy. Okay, got it. Yeah. But
military people are decision makers is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Just make a decision.
But and another thing is, as you guys probably will, especially these on this side, will agree, is that...
Or the house you fall in love with sells.
That happened before too.
Like a lot of people, they don't know the difference between Ferndale and Randburg. They don't know the difference between
Carswald and Midrand, or
they
Waterfall
don't. They don't. And there's I don't know how many municipalities in Johannesburg. Probably 50, 60. Easy, and I'm probably undercutting it by half. There's a lot of municipalities, and every municipality has their own scenario. And then they all have their own estates who have their own estate agents. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but the bottom line is you just don't carte blanchely show up with a listing in your hand and say, I want to come see this house. Everybody in South Africa would just look at you like,
not today. You can come on Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll look like this.
I'd say that.
It's on Tuesday at 7.
And so you got to come properly. And if a realtor is actually accommodating you, trust me, they're probably breaking the rules, and they're probably are doing some extenuating things. So
trying to get you so that you can actually see a house.
But
so just be respectful, basically.
So a lot of times what we do is when we have people come in, they were looking at homes, we pave the path for you. We've already built a lot of relationships here in South Africa. So if I call a realtor and say, hey, this is what I need, I got a bevy of, is it that word?
I don't know, man.
Anyway, I don't even know. I've been using it all my time. But it must be okay. The Marines haven't jumped up and said, that's not a word. Okay. All right, Marine. So, but
we're gonna get him in a minute.
He's thinking. He's trying to figure out how to get me. He can't get me. I know the Army had the sniper school. You can't snipe me. But
except that the Marines are the sniping of the military. Carlos Hathcock, he designed the sniping for the military. Very much. He said, that man right there.
I'm getting ready to put this on mute so y'all guys won't hear that disinformation. We're just not going to do that, but that's okay. I never trump her. So I had to get him. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. But anyway, so like I said, contact us. We will, we'll do what we can. We don't own the whole country, but we do have resources, and these people here are resources because I had no idea who Lionel was before he got here, but he's
now part of the team.
He's part of the team of people.
Name?
Your company name. Your company.
My company, Not Ordinary Design.
Not Ordinary Design?
That's us.
I love it.
Based in Joburg, right? Okay, great. So now you're on camera, too bad.
And now you're going to be getting a lot of calls. I want my commission.
Okay. So, what is your outlook for your, what do you, obviously you feel people should come here.
Yeah.
At least on a visit.
Yeah.
Even if you're coming from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? No, I like Charlotte. I'm from Fayetteville, so I like Charlotte.
Not Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. When I go to Charlotte, I'm like, yes, I'm going to a proper city.
Right.
Good scenario. A lot of my friends live in Charlotte, so I get missed and go to CIAA in a heartbeat because all my Fayetteville people are there. We take over just for a little while, a day or two. Then we leave.
CIAA's gone.
I know. I heard it went to the DMV.
It did. It went to DMV.
Yeah, so it just came to me. I think it's in Maryland somewhere.
In Baltimore.
Yeah. It moved.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
We lost the CIAA to Baltimore.
I mean, I'm like, that sounds scary all by itself. Nobody wants to go to Baltimore.
But it used to be in Raleigh. So
that's right.
It used to be in Raleigh.
But Raleigh's safer than Baltimore.
Yeah.
But
it's bigger. It's got more potential.
I understand.
And they got a cruise line that shows up, I guess. I don't know.
So Charlotte is a beautiful city. But you know what? For what you get
from a quality of life perspective here,
You can't compare.
there's no comparison. And I spent most of my career in Charlotte, went to college in Charlotte, moved to some other cities for work, but here, it's on its own level of spirituality.
And we love to travel, so we've been to a lot of places.
The nature here, I mean, just everything. There's no words. I mean, there's not enough words. So it's hard to explain, but I mean, just coming here and experiencing a trip is going to basically tell your story. You're going to know when you get here whether or not this is going to be a place for you.
Yeah.
And for me, it was already in me. So when I got here, it's just like, okay,
That's it.
it was confirmation.
I love it.
So now it's like, now we're just moving.
Yeah.
Now we're just moving.
It's not for everybody. It's only for the cool kids.
Amen. So you mean the kids on the back of the bus? I was one of the kids on the back of the bus. So.
Telling jokes and
So I'm here.
rapping and singing songs in the back.
Yeah.
Now I'm in front with kids reading books, but like, you're not the cool kid. Back here,
But
this
you
is
know what
where
I
it's
really
at.
like about it? You know, back in the States, you know, we have very low unemployment. People are frustrated. They don't necessarily want to go to work. You come here, high unemployment. People are happy. They're going about their life, not complaining. They're hustling the best way they can.
Yes.
They're making life work for them.
Yes.
And that's beautiful to me.
Yeah.
So from an HR, from a work perspective, I love to see that. I'm like, you know, the contract.
Be like, I can work with that.
Yeah, I can work with that.
I can work with that.
Yes.
You know, when we went to Soweto, I noticed that it was fairly clean, right? But you don't see like
That was funny, by the way.
But you don't see like
he
all
meant it
the
in a
like
good
trash.
way.
Yeah, right. You don't see people like sanitation workers or whatever, like picking up trash. But what I did see was these men with these big old buckets that they're just rolling down the streets. That they get up early in the morning, they start collecting stuff so that they can go sell at the end of the day. And in turn, not only are they hustling to make their ends meet and feed their families, what have you, they're keeping their communities clean at the same time. There's so much pride, so much pride in the way that South Africans live, what they do. It's amazing. It really is.
That's right.
Interesting. Okay. So again, I'm gonna go around the table, and we're gonna get our parting shots because you guys gotta get to the mall soon enough, and have a good time. So, to you, what's the real South Africa? To both of you.
To me, it's the people, because they are honestly what convinced me that this is the place where I need to be.
Okay.
Ooh, that was good. I got chills.
I'm just gonna second that and leave that one right there. There you go. But it's so true. 100%.
I mean, to go from a place that I never even thought of even visiting for vacation to a place where I'm like, yep, this is where we want to be. This is where we want to retire. This is where we want to raise our family. Like, all of that says a lot. Says a lot, especially to me, because I'm like, ooh, I get nervous about everything. And this just, no nerves, no nothing.
Yeah, we felt eerily, not eerily, but we felt so comfortable.
Yeah.
When we got here and just this entire trip, which I guess in a way was kind of eerie because I haven't felt comfortable like that in my own home.
Ever, probably.
No. And where I live now is the same city that I grew up in as a kid. And
You feel more comfortable here.
I do.
Wow.
I really do.
than you do at
I
home.
love hearing that. I love hearing that, especially from Black men in the U.S. And especially from the backgrounds that we've worked in. To hear you say that and to actually be able to visibly see the piece that's been lifted from your shoulder, it's just so amazing to me.
And I don't know if anybody has disclosed their previous professions, but I learned that a number of us here are former military, and a number of us here are former law enforcement. So it's not like we were just doing ins and odd jobs or whatever. We were government working people, serving our communities and what have you. And I am very at peace here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Asha, do you want to chime in? I know you just chimed in, but I don't want to take your opportunity. Yeah, but I didn't want to take your opportunity to plug your YouTube channel and what you're actually doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my YouTube channel is Asha Means Life, and the purpose of the channel is to document my experience as a retired person living here in South Africa, to share that with my family and friends.
Yeah, and also those that are on who are trying to retire and give them an opportunity to say, hey, if she done it.
And that's the interesting thing, because I do get messages from people who are just, admiring what I did and how courageous of me, and I never even thought of it as being a courageous. I just thought of it as, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm doing, just like when you mentioned, when I decide I'm going to do something, I put the plan in motion and then I do it. Yeah. So that was just my process. I never thought of it as, I'm taking a big leap, or I'm doing, it was I was a little nervous because of the thought of it, but it didn't stop me from moving forward with my dreams and my plans. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people will find courage in what you're doing and the strength that are sitting there saying, man, I really want to do it. And then they, you know how the algorithm is, the Google thing, they're always listening. They'll be talking about it in space, and then all of a sudden your video pop up, and then they see it, and then you over here sleep. But in America, you changing lives, and that's a good thing.
And the most important thing, because you did mention our background, because that's another question or concern that some people have, is the safety issue. And I can tell you all that's watching, I think it's safe for me to assume that we all feel much safer here than we have ever felt in the U.S. And I had a very comfortable life there, but at the same time, I know the environment. And so safety is not an issue. Of course, you do need to be conscious of where you are, no matter where you are, but you literally would have to go looking for crime and trouble, and I'm not out here looking for it. So I'm here to enjoy my life. So it's very safe here for those who are concerned. It's very safe here.
Yeah. So basically, you were speaking to the people that keep saying, "But what about? Exactly. But what about?" Because I know you get that a lot. I know we get it a lot. And I'm like, "What about?" I'm like, "Yeah." When I was driving from the White House, going across the bridge into Alexandria or vice versa, I saw a lot of crime. I saw a lot of stuff. Yeah, can we what about that? Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, you're right." I had this one lady call us. She was from Baltimore, and she was talking all that. Yeah, she was talking all that. What about blah 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 blah? And I said, wait a minute. You are from Baltimore, right? And then she stopped and she said, "Yeah, touche." I said, "There's no need to continue this part of the conversation." Yeah. So that's where we were. Cool. Let me move it to Mr. Lionel over here. No, okay. Now there's a serious question, and you get the opportunity to speak for all of South Africa. You are representing the all the people.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah.
I need to use a bathroom.
but no, we need your expertise. How do you feel this group here and people that like this group here? How do you think they would fit in here in South Africa from a South African perspective?
Listening to you, I really think you would fit in well. I must tell you, this is uplifting in a way, because I didn't think you'd have a group like this, really, as a South African. Most people who are in this country want to leave, purely because of politics and where we are as a democracy. And as you were saying, maybe we look at it too negatively at this point because of where we are. But there's so much opportunity. And I have to say that again, there is so much opportunity. And for quality of life, guaranteed. Guaranteed. You've experienced it. You've been here a short while. I'm almost sure you can.
Stop it. You're exposing me.
And it's really uplifting in a way just to see this amount of optimism. And it will fit in.
Yeah.
It will fit in. And generally South Africans are kind.
Yeah.
They're kind-hearted. They really are loving people. I think also because of the background and because because we're a new democracy, we know what we've come from, and I really think we need to have an open heart to everybody else. And that includes you as a group over here. So really, I would like to say welcome.
Thank you so much, Lionel.
This guy.
I'm thinking about what I can tear down in my house that's 8 years old. Come over and fix it for me. Like, there's nothing I need, but I'm like, what can I tear down? Just so he can come over.
All right. Well, now we're doing the final parting shot besides my parting shot, because mine has to be best.
Time out. I just want to, Denise, go ahead and tell us about your YouTube channel as well, really quickly before we.
Yes.
Okay. The username is Mr. D. Gadsden, and don't ask me why. Why it's Mr. But you can look up Denise Williams, just see my face on there. But I really just kind of do everyday life, just to kind of give people, like my friends and family, just the insight as to my everyday life. But I'm kind of making a shift a little bit on my channel to kind of bring the people who are typically in the back to the front. And so I'm just going to leave it there.
I like that.
I'm still like on the kind of production part of everything.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Please subscribe.
One of the things that we would like to do is vlog our experience from planning to moving here and further.
Yeah.
The back.
I encourage you all to get to her channel.
I'm going to add that I think what you're doing, what Asha's doing, what other people are doing is that we are taking responsibility for our own stories.
Yes.
And we can't do that unless we do it.
Yep.
And so I think that that's very important, because even, for us here, when we're telling our stories and we're talking to South Africans and other Americans, we're still taking part of telling the story, and we're not allowing other people to say that South Africa is crime ridden and you shouldn't come here. We're literally saying it's safe, you should come here. But the only way to do that is the way that we're doing it now. And I think that if more people, like you say, get in part of this grassroots effort to say, look, I am brown-skinned, melanated person, and I am telling my own story so that no one else can do it for me. You're not going to categorize a whole group of people and say they're lazy, they're this, they're that. It's like, no, we're going to tell our own stories the proper way, and that's going to be the truth. Now, how you take it, it's completely up to you, but we are responsible for our stories. So keep telling your stories. Yes. People need to hear it. Someone's going to identify with you. You're going to motivate some people to make a move, to come to South Africa, to retire in South Africa, to build a home in South Africa.
Young people come to South Africa too.
Yes, young people for sure come to South Africa.
We're in our mid-30s. Hey, everybody can do it.
30s. I remember that.
You got a lot of gas left. You got a lot of gas. All right.
They got energy and everything.
So now we got this couple here. We want to hear from the North Carolinians, because that's what we do. We lead from the front, and I would say hooah, but everybody wouldn't understand that. Like this person to my right, he has zero clue what I just said. Right?
I think from my view, I think as far as the channels that you all have helped us.
Sure.
From us coming here, and trying to look into South Africa, and then my car that I'm looking into, because my husband asked me, he said, where did you hear about this charity? And I was like, Asha. He was like, who was Asha? And I was like, Asha Mila. And he was like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Because you said I'm in the lobby, and then I got here and I'm like, they're all together. I'm like, he must have recognized that. It was great.
So yeah, it has been very helpful for us. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you start off with what is the real South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two answers. Mm-hmm. So it's South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
What the Western media don't talk about. Mm-hmm. They don't really talk. They talked about apartheid. They talked about all of that negativity back then. But you don't hear a lot of what's going on in this new democracy. Mm-hmm. They don't talk about the stuff that we are experiencing here. And that's by design, right? Mm-hmm. But the real South Africa is really what we talked about, the people, the place, the culture, the safaris, the food, the hope of a new, a better democracy. You know, we're in America 400 plus years. We're still trying to get democracy right. So democracy is not this button that you
We
just
can't
push.
even wear masks. We talking about democracy.
Yeah, and it's right. Democracy requires constant push, constant challenge, constant people getting involved in the political process. That's the real South Africa. That's what's going on now with its people and all of that. Then it's you guys, the real South Africa, the organization, to help launch a movement, getting people involved in this country and all of its hopes and all that it has to offer, and being a catalyst for people to understand what's going on here through your channel. Although you're not YouTubers, you guys to me are trailblazers in so many ways. And we were watching you guys well before we stepped foot on this country. So, there's two answers. So keep doing what you're doing, because you are reaching a lot of people. You are influencing people in a mighty way. So, I mean, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Y'all are what helped us get here.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna give my parting shots, and a lot of you guys are familiar with this term that are based in the Republic of South Africa. My fellow South Africans. Today, here at Parliament. But no, for real. I if I can give one message, I would say, and we had a conversation earlier, that this democracy is growing, it's changing, it's something that it's going to change. It's going to morph into what the people want. The majority of the people want, at least. I will also say that us that are in the diaspora who are aspiring to come visit you guys, and of course those that are looking at becoming immigrants, we're here to add to. We know what it's like to be, in the minority, where you guys, for the most part, don't. We know what it's like to be minorities, and so we can fill that gap. So I would say that we're all of us are proud to be here, and we all get to write this South African story as it goes forward, and then when you get to that point, we get to write it again. So keep your head up and whatnot. You do got partners out here. We will find you, and you can find us. But for us, you can find us on our YouTube channel. So make sure you stay engaged and whatnot. We'll always bring content. We'll always bring good people like these. Hopefully, you'll find them out here in space as well. And of course, they have their stories, and please follow them as well. And let's do this. So we will see you out there in sunny South Africa. All right, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview or interviews. We had a really good time with the couples that were there and so forth. It was absolutely wonderful. And of course, you guys can obviously, as you've been seeing the notifications on the screen, book your trip with us, the Real South Africa, and we can get you sorted just like we got them taken care of. But yes, South Africa is a great place, and of course, the movement is happening right now. So don't miss it. It's easy to just visit our website, and we're going to put the information after this little short segment to let you know, hey, go to our website, check it out, therealsouthafrica.com. Pick your trip. All you got to do is just a 1, 2, 3 process. Just literally just go through it. Very simple, and then we can see you here in sunny South Africa with us. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, share. All right, guys, check out the new website. It is absolutely jam-packed with everything you need. You can book all your trips. All the questions that you have are there. All the concerns about coming to South Africa are answered. So all you got to do is pick a trip, book your trip on the website, and come on the website and be like some of the people who have came here and gave their first impressions of South Africa.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South